A video was recommended to me on Instagram, and I thought something was very odd about it. I'm gonna play it in the background right now. I'm gonna loop it a few times before I go back to the gameplay, so pay attention. And what you're gonna notice here, and what really happens in this footage, is that a group of people are just stealing stuff from a store. Rather, you see these young women as well also stealing. You know what they stole? Tea. Tea, cut. They stole tea. They were that thirsty that they had to steal some cinnamon tea. Now, I thought it was interesting because notice there's no black people in this video. It's just people wearing black. Now, something I find very interesting is that usually when people post videos like this and it's black people, the comment section is filled with people saying stuff like, hey, it's the usual suspects. Niggas always stealing. Can't take a nigga anywhere. Nigga this, nigga that. And then they add some hoodlum comment behind it. Listen, anybody here watching this video or listening who has Instagram or Facebook, you know I'm not lying. You'll see a bunch of comments about how black people act if this video if it contained black people committing a crime. So with this post, it's funny. The comments are like, y'all never had fun as a teen. And it shows yawning emoji. Wow, the energy is way different here. Teens being teens. Ha 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 ha. Like this person says, why on earth does the store have cases set up outside? That's just inviting theft. Like all of a sudden, y'all got something rational to say? Yo, if it was somebody brown or tan colored, you would see a bunch of comments about deportation. You know what's funny? My mom is Japanese and she's super pale, like vampire pale. My dad is black as midnight. He's almost blue. That's how black he is. Okay. So as a result, I came out looking like Drake. I came out light skinned. So I've always been able to identify as either white or black in social crowds. So when people just call me white, and then some people just will also call me black. And then sometimes I get called Spanish, like, bruh. Like I'm Blasian. I can't even speak Spanish. I failed Spanish like 4 times in high school. My mom always told me though, and I think I told y'all this before. My mom always said to me, Andre, when you fill out forms, always check the box that says you're white and Caucasian. And I've always done that all the way from when I was a kid. And even though I'm half black and I could also put that I'm Asian as well. Yo, I've been stereotyped for a lot of things all my life. Ever since I got my face tattoos, people just assume I'm always black now. Because, oh, black people always tattooing their face, bruh. And of course, I rap too. So, typical, right? A black guy who raps. And P.S., I'm nice at basketball and football, American football. So, hey, I just fit the stereotype. I'm a tall black guy who can rap and is nice at basketball. P.S., I didn't get the Asian genetics down below the waist. No homo, right? No diddy. So I'm black everywhere besides my eyes, which is kind of narrow, right? And it's funny because some people watch my videos and say I'm white. You just assume I'm white, even though my face is all over the internet. People just say I'm white somehow because of my voice. Yeah, listen, here's funny. Just because my voice ain't deep and black sounding doesn't mean I'm fully white. But so as somebody who has sort of walked through different cultures and been stereotyped by multiple different things, I've sort of felt bad for different people. I feel bad for a lot of white and black people because when I get stereotyped as either, I sometimes wonder how it would fully be if I was one type. I feel bad for black people because if you're black and tall, people just assume you're good at sports. People just assume you always have a 6-pack. And even if you're overweight, they won't call you fat. They'll just say that you're brolic and buff. And here's another stereotype I commonly see. I've seen people assume if you have dreads, you're a rapper or you trap or you're super spiritual, right? Like niggas can't have dreads anymore, bro. Like without being told to drop a freestyle. Just because you're black, it doesn't mean he got to start rapping, huh? So I've seen it with white people too. There have been times where I'm assumed to be white by others and people say, yo, Andre, you act white. You dress white. Let me throw something out there. First of all, I only leave my house maybe twice or 3 times a month, okay? I don't really get much sunlight. So mind you, as somebody who is light skinned, I sometimes get pale looking because I get no sunlight, right? When I do go out, I tend to dress business-like because I'm going to business meetings. I wear a collared shirt. I wear a suit. I have dress pants, right? I don't really wear my casual clothes anymore. So people say I dress white or I'm acting white because of what? I'm not wearing my Jordans? Remember I made a video about 3 or 4 months ago and I said I was talking to this girl and I didn't like how she was speaking. She was saying the N-word every sentence. Nigga this, nigga that. Like it was part of her pure vocabulary. She can't articulate herself otherwise. I thought it was very unattractive. I told her about this before and she told me that it's black culture and meanwhile, I talk too white. Huh? Because I can formulate sentences and articulate myself without saying nigga, I'm talking white? Because I'm able to talk properly and use decent vocabulary, I'm not the best with my vocabulary, but I can speak decently. I'm suddenly not with my black culture. Yo, this is literally the problem with people enforcing their own racial stereotypes. Just because I'm not acting like black racial stereotypes, it doesn't mean I'm suddenly not black. I've always been a writer. I used to roleplay so much on San Andreas multiplayer as a kid. I would be on my keyboard just like writing a bunch of roleplay stuff. I used to write short stories during my free time in middle school. I literally code for a living. Therefore, I have to write competent jurisdiction, documentation. I've been selling software or code since I was a kid. I don't I don't have to act like a stereotypical black person. I have no reason to do that. Yeah, sometimes I'll talk a little ratchet. I'll use slang. I'll use metaphors and some similes related to black culture. But 95% of the time, I'm not talking like that. When people say you're using proper English and that makes you white, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. Like the girl I was referencing, she's so stupid. Like, don't get mad at me and say that I'm trying to change you or I'm not this or that because I'm not into talking, quote, hood or with ghetto lingo. I'm a grown man. You a grown woman. Talk like an adult. Listen, just to digress a little bit, I feel the same about emojis. If somebody types with excessive emojis, I automatically assume you're a child or something like that. Like, I have a hard time taking anybody serious who leaves a lot of emojis when they speak. Every message got an emoji, or there's like multiple emojis in one messages, or they spammed the same emoji multiple times in a single message at the end of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. A switch goes off in my head where like, I'm either going to look at this and not take you serious or not put into any consideration what you're saying, or I'm not going to be interested in communicating that much with you. Look, there's nothing wrong with using emojis, okay? I use them too, but very rarely. It just looks like a conversation between two children if it's filled with emojis. Maybe somebody else feels the same way as I feel, okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, and I'm sure some people who actively use emojis who are listening to this might take offense to what I'm saying. I'm just saying how I look at it, okay? I just think that if there's a lot of active emojis in a conversation, it looks very childish to me. Anyway, as I said, I digress. So a lot of black stereotypes, unfortunately, some people enforce their own stereotypes themselves, like, but people don't want to have that conversation. They're just going to say you're racist. A few videos ago, I spoke about the incel to transgender pipeline, right? And I said something very specific in the end of that video about stereotypes of incels. That stereotype and common behavior of incels of always playing victim and quick to feel attacked without listening to anything rational. Behold, when I upload that video, it was about 20 minutes long, right? 3 minutes into that video being uploaded, 3 minutes out of that 20-minute video, someone left a comment that was 7 paragraphs long saying I'm transphobic. Yet the whole video, I'm sitting there defending transgenders and the community. And in their whole comment, they're justifying completely incel and perverted ideas. And they're playing victim as well. So see, people playing a stereotype, then get mad when people address it. It's the ultimate cope. I mentioned how ever since, right, earlier in the video, I mentioned how ever since I got my face tattoos, people barely consider me white anymore, right? Stereotype, black person with face tattoos, assuming I'm a gang member all of a sudden, right? I can't be mad at that, bro. Like, I was even talking about it in several videos about taking them off, but I've had them for like 10 years now. So I'm just so used to people looking at me in either in fear or curiosity in public. I'm just so used to it now. It doesn't bother me. But if someone were to assume certain things about me, I can't be mad because I put myself in that position. Because, you know, and this goes back to the race thing. Even though I have tattoos, my character, and people keep saying is very white, right? People say my character is very white. Apparently I act very white. So my character is way different than my appearance. So what I present myself as is the first thing of what people are going to judge. People are going to look at me and judge me even before getting to know me. You have to keep in mind how deep this system is integrated. Oftentimes, the media does this the best. Unfortunately, most of the time when you see black people on TV, it's either because of sports coverage, they're shooting a music video, they're getting arrested, or they're being loud for some reason, because that's another stereotype, right? Black people are loud for no reason. I might fit that one because I'm loud when I record videos. Otherwise, I talk timid and quietly in real life. But when you see one of those type of stereotypes or portrayals on TV, for the most part, is when black people are involved. And because of this, everything else about the black experience and the achievements made by black people are overlooked. These consistent portrayals simply create a representation of racial stereotypes. And if you don't believe me or you disagree, this goes all the way back to the beginning of this video. Remember what I was talking about. And for the people who use Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, you have seen this yourself. You can attest I'm not lying. If that video I showed in the beginning, which I'm going to play right now, if this video had black people in it, the comments would be a consistent portal of racial stereotypes. Oh, it's the usual suspects, y'all, and all sort of other related comments. And you can make the argument, well, Aku, if they weren't doing the crime, people wouldn't have to post it so frequently. Okay. You're not necessarily wrong. That makes a lot of sense. And I understand the point. Yes, a lot of black people do commit crimes, right? White people do it too. Okay. Some people act like white people never do crimes, right? I don't know why. However, even though this happens, looking at people so one-dimensionally rather than acknowledging the complexity of their culture is what creates racism. So when people start acting like the stereotype, you're not helping the problem. If you look back to African American history, the earliest implementations of social hierarchies involving African Americans and non-African Americans living together, you'll see some harmful narratives like black people are lazy and are criminals. Obviously, not all black people are like that. But when you act like that and you understand as black people, we're fighting a game against prejudice, media stereotypes, and social bias, you can't be mad when you start acting like it and people start assuming more things about you. If you're black and start acting like a black stereotype that is portrayed on media like a thug, right? Because that's what movies and TV shows love to portray black people as, a thug. When people genuinely start acting like a thug in real life because you get inspired by these rappers and what you see on media, and somebody assumes you're a criminal, are you really going to be surprised? Considering how bad the one-dimensional views of black people are because of how systematic these racial stereotypes have been enforced. It's really sad how deep the programming really is. That's why I always say in my videos, you have to carry yourself a certain way. If you start acting a fool, people are going to treat you like a fool. It's not rocket science. Why does the excuse have to be, oh, it's black culture? Why do people who say that make it seem like the culture has to fit these stereotypes? Otherwise, you're not with the people. Otherwise, you're a sellout. Then we have these racial issues that end up never getting resolved, or at least there are, I don't think racism could ever be resolved completely because there's always going to be competition between races. I think it's just really engraved into how humans think. But you know what the problem really is? I feel like when you start fitting certain stereotypes, again, it doesn't help, but it creates less opportunity for meaningful cross-cultural interactions. And then people start looking at you in a one-dimensional way because they're just going to easily stereotype you off of how you're acting, right? Again, I don't think this is rocket science, but does this make sense? This is just how I look at it. Let me know what you guys think. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Times Square.
Nightmare 7 a.m. in the morning though. No surprise. Times Square's you and I under those lights. No disguise. Don't tell me everything you wanted was a lie. All those city lights, it's an endless night. Never expected you to bring me so much life. Close my eyes too long, then it's time to say goodbye. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Caution. Wait a moment, keep my heart locked away, it's filled with emotion. Gave the key to you, right in front of you is open. Hey, try your best to not leave it broken. Oh, it's been a while since you know it's frozen.